Hey, Tom. It's time for a new Slim Bubba video, but I can't think of anything. Like, I'm just like devoid of ideas for what to do. Dude, how many times have I'm not doing mukbang videos? Thanks, man. I appreciate you saying I'd be good at mukbang videos. Like, that's actually not a horrible idea, but what video would we even make a part 2 on?
Honey, quit fucking around in here. It's time for my waxing.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of can't either. There's just something kind of captivating about her, you know? Like, it's like a siren at sea. She's just like got me locked in. I don't know. Ooh, that's not a bad idea, Tom. People did like that video too. And there are plenty of more rare patterns we could go over. Okay, let's do it. Get your notepad and start finding rare patterns. I'm gonna rewatch the old video and see what we can improve on. I think this is gonna work, Tom. Alright guys, first up, one I'm sure a lot of you have heard of, the Glock 18 Moonrise Rare Star pattern. Now, in the first part of this video series, we took a look at how patterns are placed on guns using the op paw. And as you can see, as we kind of move the op around the pattern sheet, it gives us varying patterns on the op paw. But with this Glock 18 Moonrise, it actually works horizontally, i.e. the pattern is locked to a horizontal axis and we can move it from side to side but not up and down. And as you can see, when we get to a certain point, we have a little star that appears on the safety of the gun. And any Glock that has this star on the safety is considered a rare star pattern Glock 18 Moonrise. If we go to the Skins Workshop page, we can see that the creators have actually put that there's a 3.75% chance for you to get dropped a Glock with the star pattern on it. Also, just wanted to point out, if you like this Glock and you think it's cool, the creator of it is MG Baz, and I did a whole video going through his workshop. He's very innovative and one of my favorite creators right now. I think you would very much enjoy it. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and look at some more rare patterns. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, we have the XM10 Blue Tire Charizard pattern. And I don't blame you at all if you don't see it. I mean, even after that little animation I did, it's still pretty hard to see. Here, I'll show, I tried my best to draw a Charizard that kind of matched the outline of this. And I think this makes it a little easier to see. But I'm not sure what kind of collector this is for, because I'm not sure anyone out there is quite a big enough nerd to be into collecting rare CSGO patterns and Pokemon cards. That being said, if you do want to check this pattern out yourself, you're going to want to make sure your pattern ID is set to 51, and you're going to want your float range to be anywhere from about 0.2 to 0.3. Alright guys, next I want to throw it back to an OG skin, and that is the Darude Sandstorm. I remember having one of these back in the day, right when I first got into CSGO, and I absolutely loved this skin. But what I didn't know at the time is that there's actually some rare patterns for it. Here is actually the pattern for the Darude Sandstorm, and if you didn't know where we were going with this, I'm sure by looking at this now, you have a pretty good idea. The two most valuable patterns for this skin are the Darude Sandstorm all purple and the Darude Sandstorm all white. I would absolutely love to have either one of these. I think they look absolutely incredible, but I think if you were gonna make me pick between the two, I'd go with purple. I absolutely love the color purple, and hopefully one day I can own one of these, because I think this skin looks absolutely beautiful. Now, if you want to check these out for yourself, there's actually some debate as to which pattern IDs have more purple or more white. But from my own research, I've kind of determined that the best purple pattern is going to have to be the 583 pattern, and the best white pattern I think is the 555 pattern. Now, our next skin is actually from the brand new Anubis collection. I'm personally a pretty big fan of this collection and also never plan on opening it again because I think I've had all the luck I'm ever gonna have opening them. But the skin in it I want to talk about actually isn't even a higher tier skin. It's actually a gray, and that is the Og Snake Pit. Now, when I initially saw this skin, I suspected that it might be pattern based, and in that video I actually confirmed that it was. But what I didn't realize is there's actually something in the pattern that's kind of rare. And if we look at its pattern, you can actually see that there is a little frog in the pattern. And while there's really no documentation about rare pattern codes for this yet, I actually had someone in my Discord unbox one that has the frog almost perfectly centered on it, better than anything I was even able to find online. And listen guys, I know this one's just a gray, but I think this is a super cool and probably pretty easy to find rare pattern if you're into this sort of skin. So really huge shout out to Genome in my Discord for sharing this skin with us. Also, if you want to join my Discord, we're always talking about crafts. I have a few channels where you can suggest video ideas, or if there's a particular workshop contributor you want me to take a look at, I would love to hear from you. I'll link it down below. Okay, the next one, I really debated if I was even gonna put it in this video. It's the Dual Beretta's Colony Jesus pattern. And if I'm being totally honest, this one pisses me off. We have gone too far with rare patterns. We need to dial it back. I can kinda see this one. This pattern alone has made me realize as a rare pattern collector that we need to fucking go just feel the sun on our skin for a minute, guys. It's getting bad. I'm the guy who went on a date with the pussy pattern, and I'm telling us we need to dial it back, so we've gone too far. But here it is, Dual Beretta's Colony Jesus pattern. The paint seed's 937, and as far as the float, you're gonna want to try to get it as close to 0.39 as you can. As ironic as it is, I think this skin may mark that we have just strayed too far from God's light. Well guys, I apologize for that. That was a little heavy, but what do you guys say we brighten everything back up and take a look at a beautiful bright skin, and that skin is the XM10 XOXO. Now guys, I am a really huge fan of this skin, and it really gives me kind of like Rage 2 and like Far Cry New Dawn vibes. One thing I love about this skin is there's so many cool patterns on it. Now, if you look at this pattern sheet, you can see just how elaborate it is and how much potential there are for cool patterns. But we're just gonna talk about a few of my favorites for now. And the first pattern we're gonna take a look at is actually made for that guy you went to school with who always talked about his supermodel girlfriend that went to another school. And the second pattern made for one of my favorite female artists of all time, Queen Riri. But my favorite out of all of them has to be the skull pattern number 178. I think this thing's just gorgeous. Not only do we have the skull perfectly centered when you inspect the weapon, but I think the colors just going down the rest of the gun look absolutely beautiful. This is definitely one of those that if I end up getting, I'm not sure I'll ever put stickers on because I think it just looks beautiful as it is. And if you guys want to check out more for yourself, a man by the name of Captain Kraken made an absolutely incredibly in-depth guide on the different patterns, and I will have that in the description for you guys below.
Thank you, honey.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. The next pattern I want to talk about is actually for the P2000 Oceanic. Now, I've always thought that the P2000 Oceanic was a pretty beautiful skin. I just kind of wish they would have picked a different gun to put it on because I don't really use the P2000 that much. And while I always knew it was pattern based, I didn't really know that there were any interesting patterns for it. That was until a while back when I was on Twitter and I saw this post. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the P2000 Oceanic Pussy Pattern. Or as Jab puts it here, the A-Oceanic. I really want one of these, and I am struggling to find one. I don't know if I ever will, but I think this is a really, really cool pattern. Now, the craft that Jab shows here as well is just absolutely incredible, and I have to say that Jab is constantly posting really cool patterns on his Twitter, and you guys should 100% go follow him. And if you guys want to pull up this pattern and check it out for yourself, the pattern ID is 857. And trust me guys, I really hope that one day I can have one of these, but I think for now I'm just gonna have to do with seeing her every once in a while.